God damn it. Hello and welcome to Cylinder Head Install Part Duh. Yeah, and that's duh, not two. Duh. As you can tell from the cold open, I forgot to put the deflectors in under here. How come none of you guys told me? Come on, man. You guys should have warned me. Anyway, I'm going to have to pull the heads off to get the deflectors in. And I started, here's the deflectors. These are used ones that came out of the 64. I was going to put these in and realized this is an opportunity. This is going, at least initially, in my Baja. And the Baja won't have the lower tin, the sled tin. It won't create the plenum here. So there won't be as much back pressure as the system's designed for. Now granted, I'm using a shitty aftermarket fan shroud, so this is probably all bullshit anyway. But thinking it through, I thought this might be the opportunity to try out and see if the cool tin would be a better solution. The cool tin, I think it goes this way. Yeah. The cool tin does provide more back pressure because of the way it, you can't see, there we go, because of the way it cups here and here. It forces the air to cycle around. So, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I bought these from Churco online, and it said German made, refurbished, sandblasted, and painted. So I was thinking they might actually be VW. And it has a VW logo. Let me see. There we go. Can you see that? It has a VW logo, but there's no part number. I can't say I've seen anything from VW that didn't have a part number on it somewhere. Yeah, I mean, they stamped the logo in. You'd think they would have stamped the part number too. Doesn't mean it's not. Can't say I've ever seen Type 3 tins in person before, so it's possible. But anyway, regardless, these do feel more substantial than the cheapy ones that I saw at the store, which is why I bought these. Figured the German made ones, they ended up being like $5 more for the set than the cheap aftermarket ones. So I figured it was worth a try. They do feel better. Definitely feel more substantial. So alright, let's take it apart and we'll put these in. Again, whether it actually makes a difference or not, no idea. My Baja won't be spending a ton of time off-road, so I'm not worried about stuff catching in here. That was one of the complaints I'd heard about using these for a Baja. So we'll try them out and see how it goes. So how do you like the lighting? Much better, right? Better than what I've been getting. Got this really cool LED panel light. I noticed after talking about my equipment a couple videos ago that the lighting really made a difference in how good the video looked. Made it look like it was much higher production quality than, you know, my cheap ass really is capable of generating. But this light, it's 25 bucks. Had to buy some Sony batteries to run it in the back. But this light, I mean, you can see that, much nicer. So yeah, totally worth it. This is, you can see the model number there that I've got, Viltrox L116T. Nice thing about it is you can control both the brightness and the color temperature. So if you're shooting in a room that's got incandescence, hang on, let me set my coffee down. You're shooting in a room that has incandescence, you can turn the color temperature all the way down, and now see how much yellower it is. And then we crank it back up to 5600K, and see that? World of difference. Now the camera is doing its auto white balance thing, so you're not going to see it 100% here, but if you're in mixed lighting, being able to adjust this is huge. See that? Now, me personally, I'm going to stick with this because this matches the light coming in through the door, and it seems to be the closest match to what this camera is expecting. There we go. How's that lighting? Maybe pop it up a little bit. There we go. I have it on one of those magnetic mounts that I showed you. Alright, let's pull this thing apart and see what we shall see. I remember what sizes I need. Now, one thing I'm going to have to do is push rod tubes. I'm going to either have to buy new ones or stretch these out. I'm leaning towards stretching them out. It's never been run, so I think that would be a better choice. We'll see. Alright, reverse of installation. Get the outside ones first. And since I've never run this, I don't have to worry too much about the cylinders being goofy. I am kind of worried a little bit about breaking the seal on the cylinder to case, since I did use silicone. But I think I'll be alright. Just so I don't lose them, I'm going to use this glass to put the nuts in. Kind of grungy, but it'll work. Just need to find a place to set it. And I didn't use silicone on the washers. I'm kind of going back and forth on that. Same with the push rod tube seals. Now, on the one hand, yeah, they seal. Yeah, like on these washers, because there's oil in here under a small amount of pressure, the thinking is that the oil can get past the washers and through the cylinder head studs. Whether that's something I need to actually worry about or not, none of the books say to do any of that. And with my Type 4, the push rod tube seals were just a little bit of oil. That's all you used. And that's kind of what I was thinking with this, but then I was reminded that the Type 4 engine is a whole lot newer design engine than these Type 1s. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. When I put it back together, that's when I'll make the call. Be interesting to see how easy this comes apart without having run it. Yeah, sometimes they can come apart real easy, and sometimes they come apart reluctantly, but that's after they've been run. For this, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm expecting here. And whatever I got to deal with, it's my own fault for being such a dumb shit. Alright, so keep pressure on the cylinders so they stay pressed against the case as I separate. Okay, there we go. Well, that came apart easy. That's nice. One thing I was a little bit concerned about that I hadn't made absolutely sure of before I put it together was I had such a very short deck height when I measured this. I didn't verify that the valves would clear. Luckily for me, they totally did, but that could have been bad. I was actually expecting to see some dents in the pistons from the valves. Alright, first thing I want to do is dribble a little oil in there because it's been sitting dry so long. I'm afraid I'm going to start getting rusty cylinders. There we go. I'm not worried about it impacting combustion at all. It'll blow out and drain off or whatever long before I turn on the actually plug in spark plugs and have ignition. Yeah. You're not clean, but I guess you'll do. Alright. So while this is open is when we put this on. So let's have a look, see how this all goes together. Apparently just like that. And apparently it's made for 10mm studs. And also, once I get past those, this doesn't really snap into place. I'll put the head back on, maybe it'll become clearer with the head on there. Let's see. Can you see what I'm doing? Sort of. Put this under the head, above the cylinders. Yeah, you can't really see. Let me turn things so you can get a better shot at it. Yeah, you can see better now, yeah? Maybe a little zoom. There we go. Yeah, I'm not seeing really clearly how this goes past those bolts. I guess. I do like the deflector wings here around the cylinder head, because here I'll show you. The cylinder head tin goes like that, and I don't know how much you can see. Yeah, you can see right here. You know, they just stop, So this piece of super cool tin will carry the cooling and keep it moving in this direction into the fins on the lower half. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I like that. I really wish, and it doesn't have it, I really wish that there was a flange to attach it to. But of course this is probably assuming that the lower tin, the sled tin, is in place. And got a heater box running right here. And then there's a piece of tin that goes across to here. That's what these screws are for. But none of that's there, so. And cooling the head is more important than cooling the cylinders, and if these improve the head cooling, I'm with it. Not to mention, cylinders are a hell of a lot cheaper than heads. If you want a decent one. Decent head, I mean. Anyway, so these are the Churco super cool tins, German made. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that? Yeah, you see, I'll zoom you in somewhere. See if we can get you right on it. There you go, you see that bolt sticking out right there? There. That bolt. I can't get the tin above it. It sticks out a hell of a long way. I may end up having to trim the spot on the tin. You can see right there how it's a little bit shiny. That's from, oh, hello. There we go. Focus. Alright. And you can see right there, it's a little bit shiny. That's from it rubbing on that and me pushing up and down on that where that bolt is. Or stud or whatever it is. Now the other one's fine. I'm going to zoom you back out, you can't see what I'm pointing at. There we go. So the other one, you can't even see, it's over here. It's fine. This one's fine. It's just that middle one that's being a dick. So, alright, I've got to try to get this on there. I think I'll do it with the head off. And then use some tape or something to hold it in place, you know. A little bit of tape just to keep it there while I'm figuring everything else out. And again, I'm super happy the valves didn't strike the pistons. I rotated it through a few times with it bolted up. And it did very much make me nervous. So I'm glad that that's not the case. You know, I wonder. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to grind that out. There you guys see where it's rubbing on the bolt if I do it without trying to force it over. If I do it from the top pushing down. See, I'm gonna have to cut it, that little section out there. I don't think that that's a fault of this tin. I think it's more that when Remco assembled this short block, they did something wrong and left it like that. Not sure what, but that's my feeling. So that's wrong. Alright. I'm going to do some cutting. I'm not going to make you guys suffer through me using the Dremel. So we'll come back in a bit. Alright. There we go. Cut a little notch out there. See if that lines up. If so, I'm in heaven. If not, I'm an idiot. Let's see. Well, we already know I'm an idiot, just by the fact that I forgot to do this. Better, maybe? Yeah? I think we still need to go a little further in. Yeah, it doesn't fit quite as well. Well, kind of does actually. Fits right up against the cylinders. Let's get a better shot here. Oh no, there's a gap. Is there a gap on the other side? Oh yeah, they all have the same gap. So I think that'll work. I could probably go a little bit deeper on that cut. And I'll take it a little bit. It's pretty rough. And you can see the crap I left behind there. There we go. So I'm going to clean it up anyway, and when I'm cleaning it up I will give it a little bit of a smoothing. Maybe round it out a little bit there. Cool. There we go. A little bit smoother, a little bit rounder. Focus. There we go. A little smoother, a little rounder. I'm gonna slap a little bit of paint on there. Not a big deal, but every little bit to slow down rust is a good thing. There we go. Blue. Not like anybody's ever going to see this but you and me. So, you're not going to tell anybody, are you? That I have a blue spot on my black tin? Blue. It's even a little wet and I don't care. So what I'm doing is setting it all the way to the bottom of the nut. You can see the nut there. I'm going to turn this so I can see it. There we go. Yeah, the bottom of the nut there. The top of the nut there. I'm pushing it all the way down to that. And then sliding it over the cylinders. Yeah, that fits nicely. Alright. Next. I gotta stretch these. So the instructions I was given was to gently, you can see here it's got a little bit of a curve to it because that's how it lands in the cylinders. So what I'm going to do is just gently push across the accordions. There we go. Across the accordions, just to get it to stick out a little further, especially since I have no guarantee that I'm going to be using this in the exact same orientation or anything. So I just gently push, gently push, gently push, gently push. You know, I wish I had a brand new one just to compare what I end up with to what it looks like with when it comes from the factory. That'd be interesting to see. But there we go. Seem to get a little bit more there than further up. Same on the bottom one. So, top and bottom is relative, but you know what I mean. There we go. Let's compare it to one that's compressed. Because I really don't compress a lot. I'm curious to see what I end up with. There we go. Can you tell which one's been stretched? Nice. So yeah, that should work nicely. Let's do it again. Yeah, I kind of worry about these seams here, that they would resist the stretching a little bit more than the rest of it, but I didn't really notice any difference. Sometimes you worry about nothing for nothing. Let's see. Yeah, pretty damn close. Alright, I'm going to do the other ones and we'll come back when I'm ready to assemble. So while I'm still on the fence on whether or not I'm going to use a sealant on the washers inside the valve cover, I'm not on the fence about whether to use a sealant on these. I'll tell you the arguments I've heard for both sides and why I agree with one over the other. The argument for is that, especially on used cases, these seats that they go into here aren't perfect. You know, they're going to be chewed and pitted over, you know, after who knows how many heat cycles over the years, and they're not going to form a perfect seal with these. You know, this, and I get that. I do get that. However, this is a very compressible rubber, and I firmly believe that by the time you torque it down, you're sealing anything that could be an issue. The trick, though, is not to put them in dry. A little film of oil, and I'll do that when I go to assemble this, a little film of oil around the seals allows them to squirm around and settle in where they want to go. Let them find their own spot. And then the pressure is equal across the entire face of the seat here. And you do that, you're not going to get a leak. That's the whole point of a rubber seal. If we needed to really use a sealant in addition to these, we wouldn't have them this soft and pliable. You know what I'm saying? All else fails, I run it for a while, it starts leaking, I'll put spring-loaded ones in and just be done. I don't like those. I know they leak like hell, but I'm told that there are some that are actually pretty decent out there. So if I have to, I have to. Alright, let's start putting her together. Get your ass back in there where you belong. Oh yeah, that snaps into place really nicely. Alright, are all my everything lined up? Good. Let's do the oil of the seals. A little bit of 30 weight here. Doesn't take much, you just need to give it some way to slip and find its own home. back on. Sorry, guys. What am I hanging on here? Oh, that's what I'm hanging on. All right. Make sure the seams are pointing up, as they do occasionally weep. Alright. Am I hanging on anything else, or is this it? Yeah, I think I might have stretched these out a little too much. Yeah. They're what's holding it up. Nice. I don't want to break the stand by leaning on it. There we go. Think I got enough to get it started? You're smooth. You feel a little bound. Okay. Yep. Yep. And looking in the top, I can see rubber seal all the way around. And looking down here, I don't see any pinching or anything. So good. All right. So I'm going to start the torque process. I guess I could point you up a little higher. There we go. Start the torque process to get it. You can see there's not much thread showing. So I'm just going to start it a little bit and get it so these start to compress, and then take them back off, and then I'll do the washers with the sealant. Or in the case of the ones outside of the valve cover without the sealant. I'm not going to put any real torque on it because I don't want to chew the head up here just a little bit. Just enough so that I can get it down low enough to get the washers in. As you can see, I'm not applying any torque right now. I'm just setting the nuts on there. It's basically finger tight. It's just awkward to get in there. Oh, I actually think I can get the washers on these out here. So I can do these right to begin with. Nice. I don't remember if I talked about this before. These washers are stamped. They're cut out of sheet metal. And just like all stamped washers, you get one rounded edge and one sharp corner. I generally will put the sharp corner against the softest material. Generally. Depends on what I'm trying to accomplish. But that lets it kind of dig in and hold itself in place. Give it a little... it reinforces the strength of what it's holding together, and what it's holding together helps reinforce the washer. I have no idea if that's the way it's supposed to be, but that's the way I've always done it. And if nothing else, it looks nicer. Having the rounded edge on the visible side. You know what I mean? Well, not quite enough on this one, I don't think. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Alright. So I'm just going to tighten them all just a little bit using the right bolt pattern. And I will start with the ones with the washers. So I'm going to go like a quarter turn. So there. 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 Okay. Should be able to get a washer on these now. Yeah, they're all loose already and they're coming all the way down. Good. So that did the job. Didn't take much. So let's get a washer. And Carol T. Best shit ever. Love this stuff. This is a new container. I mean, look at that. It comes with a... where are we? There we go. Comes with that pointed tip. I mean, how awesome is that? You're not fighting with the big nozzle or having to throw it away after one use because the plastic tip it came with sucked. And it doesn't provide for reuse. Once you use it, you're pretty much done. Throw it away. Unless you're using it every day, you know. Alright, give it a little wipe. And just a tiny bit. Doesn't take much because just so it goes all the way around. You know, and I'm not trying to change the torque value of the thing, I'm just trying to seal it. Just like last time, getting down to doing it just a little bit at a time. And when I get closer, I'll break out the torque wrench and make sure we hit the right spots. Give it another check that I'm nicely lined up. Everything looks good from up here. Everything looks good down here. Okay. Get it back to finger tight and then do a quarter turn or so. That one never felt like it was seating. Alright, this feels like we're seated now, so I can start torquing. Oh, well, maybe not. Yeah, I need the torque wrench. Not comfortable going much further. Wrong one, Don. That's the monster torque wrench. I need a small baby torque wrench. There we go. I actually have one that does it in inch pounds instead of foot pounds. It's pretty impressive. Alright, so we're at 18, so let's take it back down to, let's see, so that's 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, so let's do 9. And work our way around until we get to 9. Yep, there we go. 9 sure isn't much, which is why I have the inch pound torque wrench, because the at smaller torque settings they're going to have accuracy issues with bigger torque wrenches, so you want to size the torque wrench appropriately for what you're doing. Okay. Now we're going to take it back up to 12, 11, 12, do it again. So that inch pounds one I have, I bought it for my bus because I think it was the intake nuts wanted to be something like 24 inch pounds or some crap, I forget now, it's been a long time. But a ridiculously low number. Alright, now I'm taking you up to 18. Alright, 18 foot-pounds, here we go. Oh, got a little bit of a crush here. Oh shit. Alright, I'm this close, I'm going to go ahead and finish, and might not be a big deal. Let me stick a push rod tube, or a push rod in there, and see. Double check. Alright, where's my... Now, assuming the measurements are all the same, I've already dialed this one in. I'll double check it, obviously, but now I've messed it all up, so I guess I might have to double check it anyway. Anyway, that's not the one that looks crushed. This one flattened a little bit right here. Where's my rubber mallet? 5-pound sledge is not a rubber mallet there, buddy. No, I have one. Oh well, this will do for now. I just want to... There we go. Yeah, it slipped a little. And this one here, down here, that bolt, still sticks up enough to cause it to move. I'm sure this crap's going to move all over the place. You know, there's nothing I can do to make it stay there forever. This didn't have any cool clips or anything in it like the factory deflectors do. But it seems in place. Yeah. Alright. That's one done.